Whether you're hitting the road or kicking back in the cab, it's time to take a load off with Big Rig Banter. Powered by alltruckjobs.com, your source for finding the trucking jobs drivers really want. Get ready to shift into gear and let the conversations roll.
All right, hello and welcome, truckers. The date is April 1st, and you're listening to the 51st episode of Big Rig Banter. I'm your co-host, Troy Diffenderfer.
And I'm your favorite co-host, Lene Rule.
And hey, everyone, I just wanted to take a minute and give a special shout-out to all the professional drivers out there. You're the ones keeping America moving during this challenging time.
And Pilot Flying J wants to say thank you as well. To show their gratitude for all you do, they want to give you more rewards and more points. It's called Push for Points, and it can get you to 4 points faster while you're racking up those hard-earned miles. That's right, you can reach 4 points per gallon after only 6 qualifying fills. Push for Points is available only in the Pilot Flying J app for a limited time only.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Here's how it works. Step 1, push the Activate button in the app at the beginning of each month. Step 2, fill your tank with at least 75 gallons of diesel. And then step 3, sit back and watch your point balance grow faster than ever before. You'll increase your earning level after each commercial diesel fill over 75 gallons, from 1 to 1.5 to 2 to 2.5, and so on. You'll be earning 4 points per gallon for the rest of the month after 6 qualifying fills.
And what can you do with all of those points? Well, your rig's not the only thing that needs a fill-up, right? When you get hungry or you need a tasty beverage, you can redeem points for in-store savings on the essentials, as well as merchandise for you and your rig. And when you pull into park for a while, you can redeem points for a reserved parking spot and Wi-Fi credits at participating Pilot and Flying J locations.
And again, from Pilot Flying J, thank you for all you do, drivers, and stay safe on the road. See terms and conditions at pilotflyingj.com/app.
All right, and if you guys haven't noticed, I might sound like I'm a little far away. I'm actually on the phone, and Troy is calling me since we are working remote due to all non-essential, non-life essential businesses being shut down here in Pennsylvania. How are you today, Troy? I missed you.
I know, I miss you too. It's being weird not seeing you for we're going on a week now that I haven't even seen you at all.
Yeah, I think this is the second full week at home, actually, so.
Jeez, I lose time in here. I know, I'm in the basement. I'm there's no windows, and I don't know, days might have gone by while I'm down here, recording. I do have a cool little setup going. We posted a picture on Big Rig Banner, so I was really proud of that. But yeah, we're going to make sure we're getting this podcast out to you no matter what. But, before we get into anything, we both just want to extend our thanks to all you truckers out there dealing with everything that's going on. We really appreciate it. I even sent a video out to thank you, truckers, so feel free to comment on that on our Big Rig Banter social media. Comment using the hashtag Big Rig Banter. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, we definitely know that things have not been easy for anyone in the country, but especially for you out there on the road. So we definitely want to hear from you and really, again, extend our thanks.
Yeah, and so we definitely had a totally different topic scheduled for our episode 51, but with everything going on, we felt it was important to, focus on the COVID-19 and coronavirus and how it's infecting the trucking industry. And luckily, we were able to talk to someone who's on the front lines and is being impacted by that. We have a really awesome interview coming up.
Yeah, so Troy, you got to interview Sergio Josefino. What was I know we're going to listen to the interview, but what was the biggest takeaway that you got from what he said?
I think it was just the seriousness, but and we talked about it in the middle of the interview, this, cautious information to take it seriously, but to still be cautious and keep a level head. I think that's the biggest thing right now. There's a huge spectrum of people that don't even think this virus is a real thing or that it exists, and there's other people that think it's the end of the world coming in the next 2 or 3 days. But I think kind of finding that balance there and, taking a cautious approach and digesting as much information as you can. And it definitely is affecting a lot of truckers, and Sergio will talk about that and how it's affecting his business specifically. But towards the end, I want you listeners to really make a point of listening at the end, some of the positive things he's seen after all this.
Yeah, we could definitely use some positives, right? Let's give that interview a listen.
All right, I'm here with Sergio Josefino, the president of NVS Transportation. Sergio, how are you today?
I'm doing well, sir. How about yourself?
Good. I appreciate you coming onto the show. Obviously, these are some tough times and very, I guess, uncharted territory would be a good way to put it for most people. And, obviously it's impacting the trucking industry. And I guess my first question would be, how's the virus impacting the industry as a whole? What are you seeing? I mean, you're on the front line, so I'm sure you're have a better pulse on it than most people.
Yes, sir. So, it's tricky in how it's affecting some people just because it seems like, nobody really knows what's going to happen next. And so that can be very troubling. Our main commodity here is car hauling. And so it's not something that people direly need in order to survive. And so, you've got certain aspects of the car hauling industry has come to a halt for a week now, which are rental cars.
Mm-hmm.
If you had rental cars, it's been a week that you really just couldn't deliver them, over a week at this point. You've got dealers closing early. Maybe people aren't buying cars, so we really don't know the numbers yet. And so, another thing is drivers. You've got drivers that are trying to hustle and make as much money for now, and then you've got some drivers that are just scared to even go out, and so it's truly affecting the industry because I guess we're all just got our faces to the news here, just trying to see what's next.
And you touched on it a little, but how has it impacted you specifically? Like, how's your daily, job duties changing? I know we talked a little bit off air of you making some calls to different places and just kind of trying to roll with the punches, I guess, if you want to put it that way.
Right, absolutely. I'm trying my best here, and so how it's affected me, number one, it's very worrisome, right? And which I guess would be for anybody. We're just, how can I say it? So basically, we can already see that our sales have been hit hard. And so, just in this past week, we have shifted from concentrating in maximizing our growth and our sales to trying to figure out survival for the next, 2 weeks, month, whatever it may be. Obviously, which me as responsible for everybody, here, it's got me extremely worried, but, we're remaining positive. And as far as rolling with the punches, we're car haulers, like I had mentioned. However, I've been calling around to previous companies and people that I've worked with as, power only to help with groceries. Number one, because that would be our survival method. But number two is, if we can help, we're going to help. You know what I mean?
Do you think the industry was prepared for something like this? When I'm thinking of this, I'm thinking of, certain states or locations will get hit with a blizzard, and that kind of brings things to a standstill. But this is almost like a blizzard that hit the entire country, well, the entire world at this point. So I'm sure, everything grinds to a halt and slows down. But do you think the industry was prepared for something like this?
I'm going to emphasize absolutely not. No one was prepared for this. In my personal opinion and what I've seen over the past year is everybody was investing heavily in their company, in their software, and their trucks, which would be their equipment and their people. Nobody was investing in preparing for something like this. Truthfully, I don't think I know personally any company who really can afford 1, 2, let alone a month of some downtime per se, right? I really don't think anybody is prepared for anything like that. I have this jotted down, and this will be the true test of who will be here for the long haul.
And let's go back to the virus. What are some precautions have you done or seen to help prevent the spread of the virus? I was just reading an article this morning on one of the trucker websites about just the use of hand sanitizer and how they're being asked to use hand sanitizer before they hand over any paperwork. And, it might seem little like that, but I'm sure all these things add up to, preventing the spread of the virus.
Correct. So, our industry now, not everybody, but most, it's very, everybody's using software for the delivery apps and all like that. And, we've told all the drivers here to, don't let nobody grab your phone and sign it, because we've always just handed over the phone, allowed them to sign it and put their name, grab their name. You write their name down. You don't need to be within 5 to 6 feet, just like the CDC warns of anybody. Maintain. We've been just trying to be smart in how can we still have, these drivers keep rolling and distributing. We've got customers that need things transported, so we're trying to just juggle doing our job and being as safe as possible. And obviously, truckers can't really wash their hands in their trucks, so every chance that you get, you're going to wash your hands. Yes, you're going to carry the sanitizer, staying away from everybody, maintaining a distance. And another thing is, only head into a store, a truck stop, or do anything extra if absolutely necessary. If you don't have to do it, avoid it.
And Sergio, I know you can't really speak for every trucker, but maybe give me the emotional temperature you're seeing when it comes to some of the truckers that you've been interacting with. Like, are people panicking or cooler heads prevailing? I mean, just knowing the trucking industry for the couple years I've been involved in it, I feel like truckers aren't the type to, completely panic and think the sky's falling, but I'm sure this is definitely, obviously, a tumultuous time right now.
Absolutely. The small amount of people that, the trucking industry is large, so the small amount of people that I interact with, I don't want to tell you anybody's panicking. I don't think they're panicking. From what I've noticed is I see some people as taking this some mandatory time off, those who can afford it, those who, got deliveries to be made, and they're still out there and they're rolling. Like I spoke to a company here that we work with, and she said, we've got freight to move, and we're going to keep moving it. If the dealers close and they allow us to keep dropping it, we're going to keep dropping these vehicles. We've got freight that we must move. So I think everybody's staying positive, and everybody's just trying to keep their trucks rolling, because I think we all understand that we need these trucks to keep rolling. Just like the president said, the supply chain must keep moving.
Yeah, I think rightfully cautious would be a good word for it. I mean, I think a lot of these people are level-headed, and I think it's important to obviously be worried and, cautious when it comes to something like this. But I also think, taking a step back and taking a breath and kind of analyzing and seeing like, all right, what can we do this very moment, and how can we push forward right now? And I think that's like the important. I think a lot of it's just perspective at this point.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
Do you expect to see any other changes in regulations, or is there anything that you could see happening? I mean, we're seeing different shutdowns and stuff, but I feel like the trucking industry, out of anyone, is one that can't really afford to shut down completely in any capacity.
Correct. So we definitely hope that we'll see changes within the regulations. You know, it's so heavily regulated for the trucking industry, and you know, we've got so much to abide by, and it can be, you know, difficult per se at times. And so we can see that they've already seen seen the necessary change, necessary enough to make the change to, you know, a lot of states or the DOT has removed a lot of these regulations for the time being. And so, you know, I would hope so, but it's hard to speculate on that. It's going to be really hard to speculate, but I would hope so, to be honest.
And Sergio, once again, I really appreciate you coming on to talk with us. Let's wrap things up on a high note, though. You know, what's something positive you've been seeing since this has all been going on? I think that's really important, you know, to realize that there are going to be some positive things to come out of a scary time like this.
Yep, I appreciate that question. And yes, I do see something very positive. The true leaders are stepping up. You know, they are doing what they have to do on something that's just unprecedented. And so I'm seeing true leadership, in my opinion. And I think that's a great thing, which I think it makes everybody feel at ease when you know you've got a leader leading you towards, you know, the right path.
For sure. Well, Sergio, once again, I appreciate it. That's Sergio Josefino from NVS Transportation. Thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Yes, Troy. Thank you very much, sir.
Awesome. All right, and thanks again to Sergio. He's really given us some perspective of how the coronavirus is impacting the trucking industry. And once again, truckers, we hope you stay safe out there. And we're trying to do our part to provide some information and help you guys out as well.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know. You know, reach out to us on social media if you have any questions or comments. And if you have some downtime, be sure to leave us a review.
All right, Lene, I think that wraps it up. I hope I see you. We'll have to at least FaceTime this weekend or something. You got me to download that weird app, so I sent one I don't even know what you call it.
It's a video chat.
Yeah, a video chat to you, but we'll have to stick with something that I can manage more like FaceTime or Skype or Slack. So,
all right.
But again, like we said, truckers will keep you as informed as we can, how it's impacting the industry. And once again, we thank you for listening. I'm your co-host, Troy Diffenderfer.
And I'm your favorite co-host, Lene Rule.
And this has been Big Rig Banter.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Big Rig Banter. For your next job, check out alltruckjobs.com, the premier online source for finding the best driver jobs in the country. Browse hundreds of positions by freight or driver type to get back on the road with confidence. Click subscribe to keep the conversations coming. Until next time on Big Rig Banter.